Gavin Newsom is the governor-elect of California. He's the lieutenant governor, and he's been the mayor of San Francisco and a member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. You know, the policies that he supports, the most popular one is, of course, Medicare for all. He's a part of the left, the populist left. You know, the Beto O'Rourke, the Andrew Gillum, the Jackie Rosens, that. And, you know, after healthcare, on taxation, he of course supports raising taxes on the wealthiest Californians, and he he stated that he plans to use the tax revenue to fund building projects into rebuilding California's infrastructure and for a mandatory housing bill that he claims should reduce poverty in the state. And now on to Social Security, Mr. Newsom is surprisingly moderate on Social Security. He's actually said in the past that he supports Social Security accounts, private accounts. That's surprising coming from a populist left candidate who's pretty much from the Bernie Sanders wing of the Democratic Party. Anyways, now on to, he's pretty much a standard Democrat on all the other issues. He's in favor of same-sex marriage, abortion, affirmative action, women's rights, minorities. He he hasn't said much about defense spending or military or the topic of military spending because, he's not running for the presidency. He's running for governor of California, and California does not have a military budget, after all. And he supports stimuluses more than the free market, which, again, is something that a standard Democrat supports. So being a moderate Republican, the question I always ask is, how moderate are they? Now, Mr. Newsom, out on a scale of 1 to 10 of moderation, I'd give him a 2 because, he's not really a moderate at all. He's pretty far to the left, like Bernie Sanders. And, another one of the issues that he supports is universal background checks, on guns and stuff. But then again, universal background checks is slowly becoming a nonpartisan issue, because when we think about universal background checks, that's background checks for everyone buying guns. There's nothing wrong with that, really. We should not be divided over that based on political parties. We should actually, agree with each other that, yes, we do need more background checks so that we don't have all these mass shootings in our schools, in our public buildings and stuff. Now, so Mr. Newsom won the 2018 governor's race in California by 61% against his Republican opponent, John Cox. Everyone knew that Newsom was going to win no matter what because it's California. And plus, he's young, he's charismatic, and he supports policies that a majority of Americans are in favor of. And he's also gotten quite a lot of help from Jerry Brown, who is the current governor of California. Because right now, California has an $8 to $9 billion surplus, and most people are giving credit to Jerry Brown and the gas tax for that. But Gavin Newsom does not support the repeal of the gas tax, which more and more people are becoming more in favor of repealing. It's surprising. It was actually one of the propositions that California was voting on in 2018, and I think they almost voted it out, but it narrowly was voted nay on being repealed. And And, hearing the word gas tax, most Republicans, including me, would think, oh, it's just we're raising taxes on the middle class so that we can give more money to the government to give to illegals and welfare. But, that's not really true, because a lot of our roads and bridges are maintained and built with gas taxes. But the gas tax in California has not been doing a whole lot, because California has so many problems and so many programs to fund. And that's why, and on Medicare for All, Gavin Newsom hasn't given many specifics on how he would pay for it, because California has the highest taxes in the country already. And having to pay more for Medicare for All and plus the gas tax, it just doesn't seem feasible to me. So, out of all, Gavin Newsom, would I vote for him? Well, I wouldn't have much choice if I were in California, but for the presidency or on a national election, I probably wouldn't vote for him, because a lot of his policies, he's vague. He gives quite a lot of virtue signaling. He's part of the... he acts really optimistic. I call it vague optimism, making it sound like it's feasible, it's going to work out, it's all going to be fine, we're all happy. But then they give no specifics. That's what I'd call Gavin Newsom, pretty much, is no specifics. Because he's not really good at giving specifics, just like a lot of other politicians. Anyways, yeah. All I know is that he has way more haters than fans outside of California, that's for sure.